George Floyd, for instance, if you, but he was saying that he couldn't breathe before he even went down to the fucking ground. He
I'm a slap the nigga who says that to me either way he says it. You heard me?
So I want to talk to Tone. I want to
Tone.
talk to Tone.
He tried to
How
get
are
away.
you feeling with this conversation now, between Tony and Bobby about the immigrants? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, y'all. We are in the building to another live session of Guys in Conversation, y'all.
baby.
And
Episode 18 too.
yeah, it is eight
Episode
God.
18.
I'm about to say this 19.
I thought it was 20 already. I'm in the future. Hey, we episode 18, y'all. Great episodes thus far. Today we have an amazing guest with us once again. Step back up in the building with us. Back onto the music topics, along with some other, controversial topics as well that's going around the world. But no other than the one and only Bobby. Man, how you doing today?
Good, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate it. I had a good time last time. I'm ready to have a good time this time.
Man, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be, 100%. Everybody, introduce yourself. I'll start with myself. I am Thomas, as always.
Y'all know the sexiest man alive.
That's Tony. It's your boy Tony Tantrum, boy.
Yes, sir. We are back in the building once again, you guys. Today we're gonna start it off with Not Like Us. I know everybody's talking about it. It's still hot. The topic is sizzling. So the person that's going to start it off for us today is going to be the music guy in the group, Tone the Tantrum. Man, kick it off and let us know what's on your mind. Let's get it started, man.
I just want to start off by saying, like, people who are like intricate listeners, that video is just like, after watching that video, it showed me that a lot of shit Drake said in his last diss track was kind of trash or just like false. Like, it just had no credit to it. Like, he was just saying, I remember us talking a few episodes back and we was talking about like the credibility of the he say, she say. And after seeing certain things in that video, it was just like, yo, everything Drake was saying was just total bullshit. Like, Like he just went out swinging and just went any route, anything to make him sound bad.
So because it sounds like you all the way to one side.
America, man.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Tony. What are you about to interject with?
Does that mean that everything that Kendrick said on his side was true?
Great question.
You didn't even take time to think about that, and that's what I don't like about Kendrick's stance.
It's a great question, but what facts or what evidence do we have? Not to speculate.
As far as what to say that Drake's, lines as far as towards Kendrick aren't facts, or they didn't hit as hard as the majority of people thought they did at the time.
I listen to everything, man. I be catching everything. Like, he was just saying shit to make him look bad, and that shit not even like valid. Like, it's just not facts. So it's just like, he gave this song less value to me, pretty much. Not bigger than that. Just gave that record a little less value to me. I still like the record. Like, I like the switch and all that. I like Drake trying to swing back. I like it, but it just gave it less value.
That's fair.
Okay, man. I completely understand. Like, walking away from it, as everyone knows, I'm not for any sides, but I just didn't musically. I didn't hear it that Kendrick had won. Now, after listening and watching the video, I had to give it up to him. He literally defeated him, and from the videos that I saw of Drake playing it, the same thing that Meek Mill did and anybody who loses does when it comes to the music, it's an automatic A. He even knows he lost, so I had to give it up to him, Kendrick, as the winner. Bobby, give us an input on what you were thinking about. It's been a while since we heard from you, man.
Yeah. So um, what's interesting about this whole situation is on Juneteenth is when Kendrick had to pop out, where he essentially had the concert in a pretty well known place in California, an arena in Oakland, California. I can't remember the name of it right now, but that's when they had to pop out. And then he chose to release a Not Like Us video on 4th of July. And I think the symbolism of what Kendrick has been doing has been real significant. And it's continuing to drive a point that's bigger than the lines in the songs and, winning versus losing. Um, Kendrick's a Hebrew Israelite. He's very religious, and a lot of the things that a lot of the perspective that he puts it is in like a lot of religious terminology. So it's very layered, and if you're not willing to pay attention, listen, or look into it, it's harder to understand, right? So typically on the surface level, people who are fans of Drake, it's very difficult for them to listen to the two artists and all of their music objectively because they're already a fan of one or the other. So automatically it's defense. You're not listening to the technicality. You're not listening to it for the validity. You're just sticking to your side. Now, the Not Like Us video, I enjoyed because there's so many different elements to it. And what I've been doing as far as my research is going into the good old TikTok and I saved a few videos just to get just some breakdowns of and some ideas on some of these things that even I missed because I did some things I didn't get. So, for example, there's a portion of the video where he's doing the push-ups in the room that looks like a jail cell on the cinder block, and it's a split screen where he's doing that above, and below he's sitting there and he's doing the little hand dance gesture.
Yeah.
And that's related to a video that Drake did with a little girl doing that hand dance gesture with this video with this little girl. So, and I believe the push-ups was sort of like a kind of like a little like nudge, in reference to Drake's push-up, which was on the surface, but then which makes the image above the surface image, but below the surface, which is the second video, was you got to watch it because in the line of the song where it says you got to have your little sister, watch out for your little sister. That's what's going on at that moment. So it's like there's like three things going on in that scene alone.
Got you.
Right?
But and I want to stop you real quick because we're going
Sure.
into the topic, as far as analyzing the video. And
Yeah.
just to make it clear, do you think that Kendrick won? Because it sounds like you believe that Kendrick won as well, correct? Or
Well, yeah, I do believe he won. I think
okay,
it's sort of like the consensus is that he won across the board now. Like
okay, got you.
even like I say that in general, I say that in the sense of like amongst music journalists, music professionals, people who professionally do
Analyze music.
study and live and breathe hip hop. The consensus is that Drake lost, and it's sort of because of like if you match one for one and you go line for line, he totally lost.
Indeed.
If you analyze it, right? The
Indeed.
music. Um, if you look at the behaviors after Not Like Us came out and Drake did the last record that he did, it was actually like he lost an election. And when you lose an election, you do a concession speech to basically congratulate the winner and say, I had a good run and all my supporters, thank you, and all my donors, thank you, but we didn't
Right.
win. And
Indeed.
it sort of sounded like a concession speech from
Indeed.
losing an election because he kind of, and I always tell people, you have to put in perspective. The man signed a $500 million deal with Universal Music. He has a radio station that basically funnels new artists from Universal Music as far as getting airplay on Sirius Satellite. He has a radio station called Sound 42. And a lot of the music there is like a funnel, I believe, for new artists under that label. I think his $500 million deal encompasses his assistance with his buzz. Like, he's so popular, and he everything he touches is gold. It turns to gold. I think they recognize that, and the amount of money they given him is so that he can facilitate. For example, the records that he's released after, I guess you could say, post battle, have all been pop records.
Indeed.
That's intentional.
Indeed, and I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to make sure we do get back to the video, because, but I do believe what you're saying is 100% facts. Tone, I know you wanted to, point out a couple things in the video, so I do want to give you the time to, point those things out and lead us in the direction that you wanted to, as far as, a couple things. I know, the great man Bobby himself has already pointed some things out. I'm not sure if you already knew about those things or not. And as well, Tony, I do want to hear from you as well. I know you've analyzed the video as well, and watched it a couple times. But Tone, take us away of where you wanted us to go with this topic.
First and foremost, I want to say that the way this video kind of was, even though it wasn't the same thing, but it just had so many hidden gems. And I could kind of compare that something a little close to Michael Jackson videos from back in the day. Like, I would watch Michael Jackson videos and be so intrigued with what was going on in that video. And I had that same feel watching Not Like Us. Like, there's certain things I'm watching, I'm just like, oh shit, like him saying the A minor line and going over like the hopscotch board, and him skipping over like the 9 or the 6 and shit like that. I'm paying attention to little things he's doing there.
And doing them out of order, and doing them in a way that a child too young to understand how to actually play the game would do it. You get it? Like, he could have did it the right way. He intentionally didn't do it the right way to basically insinuate a child so young that they don't understand the game. They don't understand how to do the game. But continue, my bad.
Good indication.
Thank you. Another thing that I did see, and I did notice, and then it got brought to another perspective, which I watched another podcast, but it was the bins, I believe. Kendrick was in a suit, a black suit with a big white bin behind him. I thought that had something to do with like some type of trafficking. I can't even like pinpoint which one. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like that video was bringing a slight awareness to what he was saying. Like, I got confused on what type of trafficking it could actually stood for.
Okay, now with that being said, I know, Tony, now when Kendrick made these allegations towards Drake, that was one of the points that you didn't like. Now, you did agree that Kendrick won, but you didn't like the angle that he chose. How do you feel about, the video since it's come out, along with everything that everyone's been saying, specifically what Tone just said as far as the trafficking?
Well, the video doesn't change the music. So the music came out, and it doesn't change the song. The song came out before the video. And I still hate the fact that he chose to go the pedophile route. I can't. Just as a man, I told you, I explained this. I can't. If you call somebody a pedophile, that shit sticks with them a very long time, especially somebody of that status. You get what I'm saying?
And I don't mean to cut you off, especially when there's kids that are screaming and shouting, reciting those specific lines.
Exactly, yeah.
Like at parties.
That's what I don't like about
children's parties.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to file a lawsuit. No, I'm joking.
But you know what's interesting? What's interesting is we have to we have to open this up and look big picture. Why hasn't he filed a lawsuit?
Because it's hip hop.
No.
The last episode that we spoke about before, everybody agreed that everything goes. So if everything goes,
I know. No,
listen,
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But Drake has paid out. Drake has paid out 2 lawsuits to women. Drake is not averse to going the legal route. Typically, a person who doesn't file a lawsuit is trying to carefully make sure that other things don't tarnish the image. Now, if it's defamation, it's defamation. Like at this point, I would see him sue because that could completely destroy his financial revenue. We can this supersedes the culture of hip hop, which we already know he walks a fine line on. So this supersedes that. He's about his money. He's not about to put the culture above his contract with Lucien Grange.
I
So
disagree with that.
yeah,
Only
he had
because it's
And why
Kendrick
so?
and it's Drake. And right now they were battling it was a battle to see who was the best rapper.
but you're not
And
but you're still not acknowledging that if there is defamation of character and the chances of losing $500 million, he is not going to say,
Now,
I can win. I could win this court
from a hip
case.
hop standpoint, that just looks bad. That
but
looks bad to his
and,
audience.
and with that being
I said
said,
that
gentlemen,
jokingly, but if he filed a lawsuit, and then I would fucking look at Drake some type of way.
with that being said, do you guys believe that he's lost any ticket sales? Because I do believe he's still on tour right now. Do you guys believe that his income has, took a hit from anything that Kendrick has done?
Well, in actuality, he finished his tour. He finished
Oh, he
his
did?
tour. Yeah, he did. He finished his tour in the middle of the beef of the battle. Like
Because he was still
nearing
playing
the
it.
end. Yes.
Yeah.
He was like nearing the end. But I believe it was done. Listen to what I said earlier. The songs after the battle were pop.
They were. Yeah.
2 songs with Camila Cabello, and Sexy Red is keeping him on the hip hop charts.
I haven't heard him. I can't.
Sexy Red. You're my
I think I heard that
everything.
one.
Where
I
he
think I
did the
heard that one.
BBL, he threw the BBL Drizzy and beat in there, and he finessed it.
But
right?
do you see that as Kendrick being able to stop or hurt anything he's doing, because that is ultimately Drake. That's Drake being Drake.
I don't think that with the conversation is a matter of anything stopping. Like this isn't 2000.
I'm only saying that because of the defamation. Like if he was to sue him, it would be because defamation, because it's hurting some part of his business.
Right, and it being totally false. It being false, and it's the defamation of character. So you're basically falsely claiming that I am this person when I'm not, and it's hurting me financially. So I guess we could leave that alone because he hasn't filed. It's not a thing. He's choosing not to, either because he doesn't want to open the can of worms, or it's hip hop. So like, I don't know.
Indeed. It's a bunch of conjecture in there for sure.
Right. We can speculate, but we don't know. There's
Indeed.
But I don't think it's gonna hurt him. Drake has different things in his arsenal, but I do believe that he will find a hard time with his next American features, hip hop rap artist features. There's a guy online named his screen name on TikTok is Chapo. He used to go by the name Fame. He used to be signed, but he's a big singer-songwriter. A big writer, ghostwriter. And he's written with Travis Scott, he's written with Metro, he's written with Drake a lot. And since everything has been going on and his delineation from Drake, I guess maybe prior, and like him hearing and knowing different things that's been going on, he's talking without talking. But for the most part,
one more time.
He's talking. I said he's talking without talking. So he's saying things that he feels like he can say without like betraying the trust of the people he's worked with. Right. And it's like,
makes sense.
For the most part, Drake is not liked by a lot of people in the industry because of his character. He's a hit maker,
and that's
but
that's what they're portraying.
Yeah. And he's a hit maker. He makes really good music, but even in the beginning of the video, let's go back to the video.
Yeah. That's why I was just about to point us back in the direction, because I want to make sure we got a little bit more time. Probably give it about 15 more minutes, but I want to make sure we do focus on analyzing that video, breaking
Yes.
down a couple of different tone. I know you were supposed to,
Let me
focus on a couple.
let me throw this in real quick.
One quick second.
Okay.
I want him to make sure that you had those couple analyzed clips, already to talk about, so we can jump into those. Okay, go ahead, Bobby.
In the beginning of the video with the snippet, right? They had the snippet of another song.
That shit was hard too.
There's breakdowns that are basically where each word and phrase in those bars in that clip are songs from albums from people that Drake has taken his flow from.
Now, I seen that, and no one had broken it down yet. I haven't revisited it. Idea.
And me neither. And I looked at it, and and I'm reading through comments, and I'm like, and people are saying like, nah, this nigga be stealing. Like legit, there are people who have gone through it and did the due diligence and like, nah, this is crazy. This is if this is what it is, this is ridiculous. Some people are saying like, yes, this is what it is. I went through the songs, I listened to the flows, and you know what I mean. So there's that.
Is it stealing if you pay for it?
No, stealing in a sense of.
Oh, you said flows. The
flow
okay.
bite in.
Okay.
Now do we give him the same scrutiny that we should give Jay-Z, and that he did receive at a certain point in time, or is it different?
In what sense?
As far as using lines from different artists.
Well, no. What we're talking about? Well, lines. This is what do you call? It's called
Is it paying homage, or is it
interpolation? Right.
Okay.
So and when you're interpolating, when you're using interpolation, you can use lines from songs and you give credit to the artist, because like, a famous line from a song, you now take it to yours and put it in yours, or it's your chorus, whatever. That's utilized. But what's insidious, I believe is the word, is when you pass it off as if it's your original thing. And it's not like Drake is taking popular records that we all know because they're so popular and flipping them. That's an obvious flip because we know the record, right? That's intentional for us, for the sake of familiarity. Right? If we got an old school classic that we went to the cookout with and somebody flipped that and we know that, that's fine. What's insidious is the fact that these are not records that he is crediting. These are records that are low key in the back, nobody knows, and passing them.
Tone, give him a shout out. Tone, give the artist a shout out. I know you want to say him. Say his name. Say his name, Tone.
I ain't gonna do it, man. I ain't gonna say myself again.
Say his name. The people they probably didn't hear the other episodes. We want a clear-cut reference of an underground artist who's coming up, who come on, say the name.
Who that, Tone?
Say the name, straight from New York. Oh, he done left us. To the man in the dark.
I didn't leave y'all. I'm gonna find it for y'all. Exactly.
Why are we waiting on that?
You don't have to go nowhere. We don't have to go nowhere. Come back, Tony. We're gonna go straight to you. No, we're gonna go straight to you, Tony. His name is Cobain. He's an artist that's coming out. I remember the name because
Cobain.
Cash Cobain. The song is called "Calling for You," #3 on Drake album, but it's also produced by him. So
yeah. But go ahead, Tony, real quick, and then we'll go back to analyzing the video.
So, because of this beef and everything that went on, do we now not play Drake? Is that a thing, or is that a thing?
No, I think everybody could do whatever they want. I believe, like I've said in the beginning, this battle. I don't like to call it beef because there's no street problems. This is a battle, and post battle, we're talking about the battle was about the culture versus the machine. Drake is a representation of the machine. And and Kendrick is representation of the culture, the deep-rooted Black American culture, and
Would you call him
what?
Neo versus Agent Smith?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say we could, but and I say that because essentially we're talking about like how much do you value your culture, and how much do you let people steal your culture and not credit your culture, right? There's a we for eons we've always noted like white people stealing our inventions, white people stealing our patents, white people stealing our towns, white people stealing our resources. Essentially, this is what Drake has represented, because when you don't when you don't claim being Black out loud, it's problematic within the Black community, because you now have are in a position of skirting and walking that fine line of appropriation and light skin privilege, different elements of like very toxic things that we've had to deal with in throughout history. So
No, and we definitely understand that. Is there a representation of that inside of the Kendrick video of him pointing that out that we can connect that to?
the video was more. The video had a lot more. I guess you could say jestful gestures, like where they have the all Black background, they're wearing all Black, and you see the guy walking up behind Kendrick, and then like he turns around to blow him away.
Yeah.
He had the face mask from like the dark hours
Yeah.
video, Drake dark hours video. So he kind of had a guy look like Drake was walking up behind him and blew him away. So little like fun things, you know what I'm saying? Like the girl was sitting. First of all, Tommy the Clown in the video is LA classic. If you don't know Tommy the Clown, go watch the documentary Rise.
Yeah,
And you will
crumpet,
learn the
crazy.
history.
Yeah,
You will
yeah.
learn the history of
Straight
crumping
up.
and Oakland, California. I remember watching it when it came out years ago, man. And it teaches you. He was the only dude, man, doing it and really bringing these kids up to like do something other than violence. So
Yeah, him and
having Tommy the
Tie-Dye.
Clown, the knocking at the beginning of it, the doom 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 doom, is an old 1800 song where that is reference to the cakewalk. The cakewalk was a dance that the slave master used to have the slaves do to entertain his guests. So there's so many parts to that. Like, okay, so we're dancing all through the video. Basically, so they set up the video. It's a dance video. So we set up the video with the cakewalk song, and as we go, he has the crump dances. He had the basketball player from the Toronto Raptors. He had Dave Free in the video.
That's some great points. That's some great points.
A lot of
Tone,
shit.
straight up. Tone. Now, is there anything outside of what we talked about so far that you want to point out in that video that we can discuss about, man?
There's one thing I do want to point out, which really shows me that Drake shit was straight cap.
Cap.
Bobby's
Talk about
doing a great job breaking that shit down. I'm forgetting to say myself. So good shit, Bobby.
For sure. That's why we got Bobby here. You dig?
Let me ask y'all a question. Let's just sit
Besides
back
just
and
being an amazing person.
Oh, thank you, man.
let's sit back and ask ourselves this question.
Okay.
Saying that your kid ain't yours, that's really a manager's baby, and this and that and all that, and then you watch a video and them two niggas directed the video to the diss record that was written to you. I just didn't want to hear none of Drake diss record ever again after seeing certain things in that video. When I saw him and his wife like hopping.
Yo, to be fair, I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to correct you real quick. Drake never said that Kendrick's child was Dave Freeze. He said might be. So might be is not saying it is. So I just wanted to correct that for you.
Drake and shake that ass for free.
Yeah, but he said
by my nigga Dave.
One of those kids might be Dave Freeze.
I don't know if semantics matter. Like even if whether you suggesting or you're accusing, nigga, you done said it one way or another to me. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna take it regardless.
He said might be. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
might be. He never said that it is.
Yeah. There's a little room of play.
I'ma slap the nigga who says that to me either way he says it. You heard me? Either way you say it, you're
Either
making an
way, yeah,
accusation.
true.
Straight up,
But
straight up.
one you are saying, like, it's a difference. It's a
Nah,
True.
difference.
for sure,
It
for
is.
sure, for sure.
It is.
But go ahead, Tone.
A woman so happy to do a crip walk in a B-hop ever in her life. Like, I'm looking at this shit like,
Wearing
like, damn.
wearing a wife beater. Wearing
shit like, yo,
a
like,
wife beater.
everything Drake said was straight cap. It was just straight, like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, after seeing that video, I be driving and, like, my Apple Music just magically put on Drake. That shit getting skipped, bro. I don't know if I gotta get over something.
That's kind of why I was asking out, because if I don't think that most people are just skipping over Drake. I don't think most people are just skipping over Drake.
Hold on.
Keep
Go ahead.
hold
on, Tom. Hold on, Tom.
Not skip. But
Hold on.
If you go to a party and there's a DJ there, the DJ has to play 100, 200, 300 songs that fucking night. You think he's skipping over Drake?
Play the hottest songs that everyone knows. He has a job to do.
I haven't been out. Have any of us been out or seen any videos of?
Nah, but what I'm saying
I'm
is,
pretty sure they're playing them.
You have to. You have
Yeah,
to.
I don't think you can skip over Drake, like,
You
just
have
because
to.
it's
Drake has
when
been
a
the person
DJ
who's been dominating for the last how long?
When a DJ gets into his mix, you're gonna play the hot records. I don't think that's the question. I think the question is less about what's being played in popular culture versus what are people listening to. I will say, it is hard for me to listen to him now, but you know what though? And to be completely honest, for a very long time, for quite a few albums, I've been feeling real funny about him. I have. Since he's came off of like the introspective records, the R&B joints, the girl joints, and he started getting tough. I've been turned off for a long time. And if you do some digging, the consensus is a lot of general consensus is a lot of people have been feeling the same way, but it's very hard to express those feelings when popular opinion is this is the man. You don't speak against the man, like subconsciously. When
True.
when Jay-Z is on the radio, no matter how you feel about Jay-Z, you're not openly saying, unless you're just one of those people who are that way. But like, the casual listener, you kind of just flowing. You're not really making hard stances against anything. And I think that's what it was with Drake. He's been dominating. He got feature here, feature there, and he's had very good strategy. Drake has always done records with up and coming people or people who are bubbling and coming. Like he always seems to present himself as the person, the dude reaching out to the youth when in conjunction he's doing what his elders did. Jay-Z did the same thing. Jump onto the new wave to stay relevant a little bit longer. Do this, do that. So I think the conversation is we know they're gonna be playing Drake in the club. But how do you feel now listening to Drake? And I can't. It's kind of hard for me, but I'm a purist, right? I'm listening to Jay Electronica, Kendrick Lamar, Lupe Fiasco. I'm a purist. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to go out. I'm gonna have to go out to the clubs for us. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna stay there the whole night, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna wait for them to play Drake, and then I'm gonna see what happens.
I'm going to the bar and ordering a drink. I'm not.
They playing it. Don't worry. You want to hear some Drake? Go to the club. They're gonna play some Drake. But look at the guys' faces.
Yeah,
look at the guys' faces.
Like,
the women are gonna do what they've been doing, and the guys are gonna follow the girls. But look at the guys who's kind of just in there chilling, and like the ones you could tell really be listening to rap music. It really this is what the kids say, right? It really does hit different. It really does hit different.
Not for sure. Yeah. It's definitely going to hit different. With that being said, gentlemen, Tone, is there any other aspect of the video? I know we can allocate some more time to it. I do want to stay on.
I do want to say one thing, not to cut you off.
Go ahead. Yep, go ahead, Tone.
But back to what Bobby was saying about when he released the video. It was July 4th, right?
Yeah.
July 4th. That was the same day that Drake was at Michael Rubin's party, the all-white party. And Tone kind of brought this up off the pod. But you saw Drake's face, right? The
It
pictures
might
they were
sound look he
taking,
looked
The
that was
sick,
defeated.
just
the
because
Drake
everybody
looking
was putting
sick.
up those phones looking at that Kendrick video.
My son looked
That shit
He
was
defeated
said,
too.
"Yo,
perfect timing.
You
Like Kendrick
you
is
know
fucking
you know
brilliant
that
for that.
you know that energy was not the same. It wasn't, oh
Mhm.
Drake, oh we about to, I gotta get close to him to
Yeah,
get
once
something.
yeah.
I gotta get close to get a collab. It was like, did y'all see that? You know
Right, did y'all
everybody was
see that?
talking about.
Right. He
Did you
looked stressed the fuck out.
you know everybody wasn't rushing to get in his circle. You know, he wasn't the talk of the town. Everybody was,
Yep.
so that energy had to be different. It was like the cool kid, he's not cool anymore, you know?
And that was crazy. And that night, if I'm not mistaken, Wayne was there and they
he
didn't
was
speak to
there.
each other. And they didn't
They
Yeah,
didn't
speak
that's
to
what I'm
speak
each
to
saying.
other.
each other at all."
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, that's the word.
I y'all know this for a fact.
This is
It's
rumored.
facts. Wayne
This is
went
rumor.
on
Yeah.
live.
This has been
Wayne
spoken.
went on live and said, "Shout out to Lotto, who's the only person that said what's
Glorilla.
up to me at the party."
Glorilla.
Okay, he
Glorilla,
probably
my
did.
fault.
But I saw a video where Wayne was performing the motto. And
Mhm.
while he was performing the motto, he stopped and started singing "They Not Like Us."
Yeah,
And then
I seen that.
he pulled out his Drake Owl OVO chain and just he just pulled it out like they not like us.
Do
So
you know
it's no
do you know when you know that you fucked up, so now you're trying to do something to like fix it?
uh-huh.
And you know when like you don't think about the optics until after the fact. I
Uh-huh.
believe that's what that was, because once it was kind of realized that there was no picture with Wayne and Drake at the same fucking party, the
Oh,
optics were bad. The optics were bad. And then when they did that Cash Money situation that you speaking about, that performance was, I believe, at the Cash Money whatever
Uh-huh.
reunion thingy.
Supposed to be a
That was
reunion.
a shit show in itself too. That's a whole nother
Uh-huh.
conversation. And he had to do something to fix the optics, the negative optics from not the bad shit that happened at the
Yeah,
at
I
the
can
Fourth
see.
of July.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Personally, I don't believe. I know that they have some distrust with each other, obviously, because
Yeah.
he messed with his girl while he was locked up. Which is, you go behind your brother's back, and y'all supposed to have some type of relationship as far as
Yeah.
outside of just being label mates, and somebody who reached up and put you on to a higher platform. So I believe that there's some brother like disdain in there, but I don't believe it's I hate you or I don't
think so either.
support you,
I
or
agree.
if I had to, if
Mhm.
your career was really if Kendrick's diss was really gonna hurt his career, I believe that Wayne would come to his aid, and I believe that they would come up with a diss together in order to solidify Drake back in that position.
I
I think
disagree a
it's
little bit, only because I believe that Wayne wouldn't put himself. He wouldn't be in it at all. I think Wayne is just in his own world, in his own mind, just doing what the fuck Wayne wants to do, and whatever the fuck Drake got going on is for Drake to handle as a fucking man. But
But Wayne is
me
is
and
a soldier though. Wayne is a soldier. He rides
I don't
for
believe that he gonna jump in somebody else's
soldier for
shoes
Drake? I don't know.
for his label, and
for his
anybody on his
label.
label.
Yeah,
Shit,
I
he
can see
started
that.
out doing that. I don't think that just
I
leaves
mean,
a person's
is
body
Drake
like
still
that.
with Young Money?
no.
I mean, not
But
officially, but
he's not
They gonna
speaking. I don't think
forever
he's
rep
speaking
it.
technically. I think he's speaking just family. We've been
Right,
here
yeah,
together
them,
forever.
them them
Okay.
ties don't go away. Like
right,
at the end of the day, whether he dies now or dies later or
Mhm.
whatever Drake does or Wayne does, he's always going to get tied back to being part of Young Money and Lil Wayne.
But that's what I mean about the optics, because
For sure.
because with everything that's going on and all the visuals, Wayne was not there during this battle. So it's
For
deeper
sure.
than what we're already seeing. Like Wayne
But he
wasn't
had no
around.
reason to be.
Nah,
That
there's
too,
Yeah,
because
we don't know. It's
there's
definitely some
reason to
shit
be.
we
You
do
could
not
pop
know.
up. You could pop. He did. How many videos did Drake do during this whole thing? Or maybe that one video with the 3 songs in it. It's reason to be in that video. Freaking baby Wayne and Slim was with Top Dog the other day. So what the fuck is going on? So you telling me y'all hanging out with him? It could be some blood shit. Y'all hanging out with the guy's boss or former boss, but you couldn't be in my video, like to show solidarity. But then you at the party, we can't link at the party. but then now you trying to double back and you gonna put on the chain and say and do the not like us. Like this, there's some
It's all
foolery going on.
perception.
It's
It's
all
what we think.
semantics. Yeah,
It's all
not
up
for
in
sure,
the
for sure. And that's what we're
Very
doing, y'all.
confusing.
We all sharing our opinion about what's going on. Tone,
One
before
more,
we
one more,
wrap
one more.
up.
Before you wrap it up, I
Go,
have
all
to
right,
ask.
go ahead. Cut me off,
What
baby.
about
Cut me
50
off.
Cent pulling up to going to Canada,
Canada, like
and taking the picture with Drake? How y'all feel about
Well,
that?
but that's fine. That's 50. He's the troll
that's
of
the
the
king.
he's the troll of the
the-
century.
And
He's gonna do
not
that.
just the troll. He the king of the beast. When it comes to rap beefs, I mean, I don't know who can mess with 50
Listen,
and
your
take
man,
it both.
your man
take it
taking your baby mom,
musically
taking your
and-
baby mom shopping. You know what I mean? Like, you see what I'm saying? 50
Yeah,
is
he
gonna
takes
do
Doesn't
it-
think it's gonna be no collab or anything.
maybe
Nah.
it might. I
I
wouldn't
don't
be
think
surprised.
so. I don't
Why
think
not?
so because I don't think 50. He's too invested into other things to put himself all the way into music. I think he's just doing what he does, like you said. He's doing kind of like what Drake does, but on a business tip, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna catch on to this, and then
But 50 doing
these
TV
people are
too.
going." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he's doing that for his other shit. I don't think he's doing that musically. 50 is not.
That's where I'm saying. That could be
Definitely
a
not
collab
doing that
too.
musically.
They could
Hell
collab
no.
on the TV on the screen.
For sure.
Because Drake definitely does a lot of executive producing.
He definitely could, but
That might have been what that was.
Again, 50 Cent is doing stuff that is, again, like how you said, Bobby, he's doing stuff that portrays violence, toughness, something that Drake, yes, he can perform in that because he is an actor, but again, that would be pushing him further away from what he needs to focus on in order to get him back to, Lucius and Tip. They like, Drake, beat Drake, make them hits for us. This is what we want from you. I don't think they want to push that perspective on him, and I don't think our people are going to be perceptive to that acting from Drake. I don't think that's going to play well for 50 or him.
I think to be honest, I know that there was a part of this thing where we talk about Drake's next steps. And the fact that you guys brought this up is very interesting because we have to remember Lucian Grange is the owner of Universal, not just music group, the whole shit, the whole European company, which includes Universal Pictures. I would not be surprised if Drake in his deal, because $500 million, this is not just a music deal.
Now he's going to have to be in some animal movies first.
This is going to be some
movies first.
Animal movies.
Animal movies first.
Voiceovers.
He has to do that first. Yes, they're going to get that out of him.
I think he's going to be. I think that they also tapped him because of his experience with executive producing Top Boy, Euphoria. He's done some executive producing for some really good shows. Now, executive producing ain't nothing but putting money into something, basically investing into it. But him being involved with good shows, him and 50 Cent coming up there, Lincoln, I can see a conversation about doing either producing or even acting in something. I can see it
for sure. I can definitely see that for sure.
Maybe not a feature.
Maybe not a feature. I can't see that. Does 50 even rap anymore?
He does, but only for his music. But only for his movies and his TV shows.
Only for his series.
Yeah, he's not. It's no money in it. 50 is about his money, and 50, he just bought a studio. He just created a studio. He's not. He has his hands tied.
Yeah, for real.
Like I don't see it happening. But with that being said, Tone, do we have one last point we want to point out from the video? And if not, let's definitely transition and get to the next point.
I'm good on the video. And I guess like with the symbolism of the owl being caged up. I mean, that's not hard to notice at all. Anyone could kind of get that. And just seeing that the video is produced by someone who allegedly is the father of his son, like a low blow at the very end too. I mean, that's pretty much it on the video though. Like I said, Family Matters is just all cap to me. Only reason why I listen to it is because I like the second beat.
Got you.
So you still listen to it?
If I want to hear the second beat, I'll listen to it.
He listening to Drake, gentlemen. He's not. If that comes on, you're gonna play it. You're gonna let that bitch spin.
Yeah.
With that being said, gentlemen, I definitely want to transition to the next topic. It's a little bit, controversial, but not too much controversial because everybody's talking about it. So we have to talk about it as we always do. Tony, you are the specialist in this. He's wearing this shirt. I want you to start it off.
I am not.
Let's go.
He
Let's
said,
go.
Focus
Let's,
aside
Oh
because
my
it's
God.
the best guy. You dig?
let's go
So,
ahead. Let's talk about it. Talk to us.
before we even get into it, I want to go around the room and see. You don't have to say who
Tony,
you're voting for.
before we segue into this, I just want to shout out our sponsors: Perfect Timing Property Solutions, saving homes, saving lives. Let's get it. Let's keep
sir.
going.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you don't have to say who your party is or who you're voting for, but I want to go around the room and see if everybody chose a side. So let's start with Tone.
Everybody pick a side.
With the most
Or no
neutral
side.
nigga, son.
Be honest. Let's do it. Talk to him.
Be honest. Be
Yo,
honest.
listen, I don't even think I deserve to even have any say so in this topic.
Yes, you do. Talk to us. It don't
Nigga
matter
like
what
me-
you say. Talk
nigga
to us,
like
man.
A nigga like me gonna just see what's on the news or what's on IG about it. And I'm just keep
And
on
that's
fucking scrolling.
my fucking issue.
When they tell,
All right,
when they tell
Bobby.
me where I can go vote, I ain't going about my day. Like I feel like I'm
Got you,
fucked
got you.
regardless. Me personally, I just don't give a shit. Man.
Got you. Talk to us, Mr. Bob.
Now, if Trump was really walking around like how he is on your shirt, I would definitely go out my way to vote for him. 100%. Other than that, bro, I'm sitting my ass at home, man.
You know, when I think about politics, I think about the way that there's a video, and I'm gonna make this quick. There's a video that I seen years ago of an image, and the image is of like a person, and then you go into the person and it zooms into their eye and it goes into the iris and it goes into the universe and it goes into the planet and it goes into the and you see everything.
The infinite videos.
And when I'm thinking about like politics, it's like, unfortunately, most of us are not well versed enough to even engage in a conversation. We are supposed, we really should be, because it really does affect our day to day, especially local politics. But it's very difficult to have these conversations when you know that most people don't know about politics. People know what they see on the news, they know what they see on social media, but we didn't pay attention in civics class. We didn't. We were bored by it, and we don't participate in the ways that we should.
That's a fact.
I do believe in the agenda of the Democratic Party.
Thank you.
Because of the things that have actually passed and the ways that it benefits Black people.
Okay. Before you dive too deep in it, is there a side that you're choosing? Are you voting for a specific party?
I'm gonna go Democratic regardless of who's on the ticket.
Okay.
So if Kamala's on the ticket, if they end up choosing someone else on the
see that grim, I can't wait.
Got you. So I just want to make it real quick. Make sure you remember all your points. We're gonna get to them. Me personally, as we all know, and anybody who hasn't seen the show, I honestly don't care, but it's from a perspective of actually knowing what's being it's from a point of knowing who has actually been benefiting our community, who hasn't, for how long. So my approach is similar to Tone's, but it's and I'm not to, and it's not to say that yours isn't educated or
no.
well versed or anything like that, but from my perspective, I know the history. I've been, I'm the person that deep dives into it. I loved history class, all schooling, even in college and further. So I don't give a fuck about either parties because I know what's going on. But I want to kick it back off to Tony. I know you got some things you had said. You got some
got a
questions.
question.
Go ahead. Shoot,
Well,
baby.
really,
Shoot,
it's
baby.
for
Shoot.
you right now.
Who for
So,
me? You talking to me?
yes, for you,
Oh,
Thomas.
okay, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me, baby.
So, again, you say that you don't care because of. Give me your explanation one more time as far as why you don't care about it.
So I'll break it down in a couple points, and then you can take it wherever you want to take it. Our popular opinion in all actuality doesn't matter. It's up to the electoral college. They don't have to choose who the popular opinion decides they want to vote for in each state. That's a fact. They don't have to decide what we choose. Republican, Democrat, they haven't done anything for our community specifically. And as we all know, and if you don't know and you're new to the show, welcome. But either party has done anything to benefit my community. So with that being said, along with the electoral college playing a bigger role in the people that actually monitor and facilitate that electoral college, similar to the people that you said, the higher ups, the people that no one really knows about, but we do know because they run certain companies that lobby for these electoral colleges. It doesn't matter what we do. These political parties are nothing but puppets, similar to what you said, Tony. I'll use the word division. It causes division and it points us away from what actually is going on. And in my opinion, yes, there has to be some type of war, civil war, but it doesn't have to be with bloodshed. I believe that it has to be done on a more intellectual and on a more intellectual level. So with that being said, with me knowing the history of everything, not everything, with me knowing the history of how certain patterns are formed and performed when it comes to politics, I can't play any part in it when it comes to this election.
So, do you believe that it's impossible for any candidate to do anything for our community?
I wouldn't say any candidate. It has to be the right candidate that actually is speaking towards laws, speaking towards actions that are going to benefit my community, which has not happened ever. There hasn't been no political party, no president that has benefit my people directly, and not just talk about it, but actually put the action in. So with that being said, there has been none. So with that pattern being put in place in this system that is corrupt and evil, I don't see it happening. But there is a possibility of it happening. I'm just not sure when.
Okay, that's fair. Go for that. So the reason I choose Trump, did you give a reason why you chose Democrats, Bobby? No. The reason I
No,
chose Trump.
he didn't give
Okay.
it, but go with yours, and then we're gonna go straight to Bobby.
All right. So the reason I chose Trump is because somebody has to win. There's two sides. Somebody has to win, right? And one side is supposed to have, or both sides are supposed to, guarantee the ability to make changes in the world. So with that said, somebody has to be the world leader, and that's where the fight is coming in at between the Democrats and the Republicans. Somebody has to win. Somebody is able to make change. So with that said, I want my future to be the best future possible. I don't want my future to be like if I didn't vote and the evil side won, and then it's going to be evil for the next 4 years, right? And that's not what the fuck I want to go through for the next 4 years. So I feel like our vote does matter in a sense, and even if it's not, like you just said, the electoral votes matter, but shit, we don't know that for a fact.
We do know that. That's
We do know that.
100% fact. It's 100% fact
That
that
our
the
votes
electoral.
don't matter at all.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
it
is
don't.
100% fact.
So why are we holding elections if our votes don't matter at all?
Hillary Clinton had more popular votes than Donald Trump, and she still lost.
He's given a great example, but the point is, like how you said, it's all manipulation and puppetry, bruh. if they don't paint the picture that our vote counts, then there's going to be chaos, because we're going to say, hold on, they're not representing us. Hold on, we just made this vote. Why aren't they? Why didn't they
So
pick
why
this
are they
person?
holding the election if they know who? Okay,
So
y'all
so
putting the
so so
electoral
so
votes.
so with that being said, if they don't, the people that you spoke about in previous conversations, the government who create, not the government, the people above the government who create this who creates this division amongst people, if they don't present us with two sides to go against, it's going to make it seem like we don't have any actual power. We can't hold them accountable. We don't have any say. So those people will give us two people like they always do, and those people will control these two people and make it seem like our votes count. But if
So
you
back to
pay
what Bobby was
attention,
saying.
it
Back to
doesn't
what Bob,
count.
back to what Bobby was saying about when we brought up Drake versus what you say, the machine versus
The
what you say,
culture.
Bobby,
The machine versus culture.
the machine versus culture. So in this situation here, you don't believe that there's a machine.
Like I said, the machine are the people
You
above the
believe that both
government.
candidates are part of the machine.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course they are.
Perfect.
It's all part of the system. And
I don't
this
believe
is
that.
and
I
this
believe
but
that the
this is
Democrat
facts though.
is the machine. The Democratic Party is the machine, and I feel like everything that they've been doing to try to push Trump and try to kill Trump, try to take his money, try to throw him in jail, I feel like he's going against the machine.
Again, this is all information that is given to you, a picture that is being portrayed. Again, there are people that run the government.
That's right.
These politics don't run the government. The president doesn't run the government. There are companies that have been in existence since this country started.
That's true. We in
Who,
agreement on that.
yes, so who these people own these presidents.
Trump was never part of this whole system. Trump was never part of it.
Yes,
It was
he is.
actually when he jumped in, they thought it was a joke.
If you're here in the United States, you're part of it. If you're running for presidency, you're part of it.
That's not true. That's
So
not true. We
I
can agree to
wanted to
disagree on that. But Bobby,
so I
why
wanted to say,
Democrats?
so real quick. See, this is where the universe and the earth and the thing, this is where this happens.
Talk to it.
So what happens is when we're talking about popular vote and electoral votes, it's kind of like, do you know how to play poker? Some people think they know how to play poker, and some people really do know how to play poker.
Right.
That's what this is. So we vote, we have a popular vote. Each state has a certain amount of electoral votes based on the population of the state. That works from the census that none of us fucking do. And that's why we have the amount of electoral votes in our states that we do. Because these are things that this is why I'm saying the political process not being paid attention to all the way through. This is what happens. So when the popular vote is what it is and other people win and it doesn't make sense, no, it makes total sense. You have to understand it for it to make sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to have the same amount of electoral votes amounts in Rhode Island that you're going to have in California.
Right.
Because of population, right? And the amount of people who do the census. So I say that to say that it does make sense. It does make sense. It makes total sense when you understand.
What are we speaking about?
So you're saying
what makes sense?
The electoral college popular vote versus it makes
so what's
total
your stance
sense.
on? What's your stance on? I want to be clear for everyone that's listening.
The electoral been financing his career, a tech billionaire. Trump is doing this shit for businesses. He doesn't give a fuck about me, you, Tone, or Thomas. And Project 2025 is a real thing. And if you haven't read the 600-page book, like I haven't, you better go hit them hot takes and them notes. Because
You said like
a
you
lot of
haven't.
the absolutely not. Because I ain't reading 600. I got other books to read. But when you go through the details of those books, none of it benefits women, none of it benefits black people. It is a disservice to vote Republican in this election specifically because there is a plan for conservative values to take over everything. Fuck your religion if it ain't Christian. Fuck your beliefs if it isn't, if it ain't about America. Fuck
Trump was president 4 years ago, right?
Trump was,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
What,
He
about 8
was
years ago?
president
Yes, sir.
4 years ago. So
Yeah.
where is all this that the Democrats are saying that Trump is going to do? Where is all this that he was president for 4 years?
What do you mean?
Y'all claiming y'all make Trump seem like he's bad. Where the fuck was the bad?
What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
If we point out, specifically bad stuff, let's aim towards like what good did he do?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. All the good that he's
More
done
specifically for our community.
Absolutely none.
That's not I don't do more specifically for our community. I feel like the world is one place. But
the world is one place where it's disproportionately hurting our people. We have to acknowledge the fact that we're not on equal playing field in this country. It is not. The equity has not reached the point where we have reached equality. We have to acknowledge that. That's so. With that being said, when Trump comes in here and he gives tax breaks to billionaires, but me and you can't afford to go to fucking Costco's and have $100 and pick up 4 things.
That's Biden's world, though. That's Biden's economy right now. You don't think that Trump is going to try to fix the economy?
Listen to what I just said. No. Listen to what I just said. No.
Hold on. One quick intervention. So Tony, so you pointed out, and this is not, like we said, we're not doing no, but you pointed out that he was president once.
Uh-huh.
So is there an example, just one example of
things
something
that he's done?
There's
plenty of examples. I got them in my phone, but there's plenty of examples of things that he's done. You're looking for there's plenty of examples of things that he's done.
We just want
I
one.
can't give you one right now. It's off the top of my head.
Sure,
Again, I'm not a politic person. I just got into this shit.
It's the topic, baby. It's the topic of the day. With that being said, go ahead.
I feel like that the Democrats, they use racism. Actually, they use anything to try to fucking separate. Anything that causes separation, the Democrats use to try to get us. They use racism every fucking 4 years. Every 4 years, there's a big ass something. George Floyd, for instance. If you look at the fucking facts about that shit.
What's the fact?
Racism came from somebody that you say you don't like. Candace Owens. But and I think that's probably the reason why you don't like her.
Listen, Tony.
Hold on. I want him to point out one. Just give us one fact.
The one fact.
About what?
From what you just said about the George Floyd.
Shit. Well,
according to Candace Owens.
According to Candace Owens. Okay, that's fair. According to Candace Owens, actually not even according to Candace Owens, it was somebody else that said this as well. But he was saying that he couldn't breathe before he even went down to the fucking ground. He was asking them to get on the ground. So
is it
that he couldn't breathe before?
So when you go into flight or flight, and so much is going on.
They're also saying that he had I can't think of the drug that he had in his system, but they said that he swallowed a lot of it.
Again, so it doesn't matter what is happening. If a person says what's going on, does that excuse what happens to him after?
It clearly does for Thomas. For Tony. It clearly does.
No.
What happened to
I
him
want him to
after
speak
he
for himself.
died? You're trying to say that he died?
Yeah, because he said what you said was he stated that he couldn't breathe before. What does that mean as far as him dying after?
When he got down to the ground, and they said that the police, and this is coming from Candace. This didn't
But this
come
is
from the other
something that
sources
you're
I looked at.
reciting though. So
But
I want to be clear though.
one more time.
I want to be clear that this, yes, it did come from her, but this is something that you believe to be true
Right,
because
because you're expounding it as if it's a belief of yours. Is this something
No,
that you believe?
do I believe it? I don't really give a fuck about it, honestly.
No,
That's
no, no,
just
no, no,
my
no.
take on
But
it.
we're
I
having a
don't give a fuck.
conversation about what we
But
believe,
if
bro.
we're having a conversation, I'm going to bring up other facts or other things that nobody is bringing up. So is that fair to bring up that?
Well,
it
I
is.
thought we were
But I
having a
want to.
conversation about how we felt about it. You're asking me about my feelings about Democrat, about the why I feel the Democrat thing. I'm gonna come to you with facts about the Democrat, about
Yeah,
the like
and again, it
opinions
doesn't.
about what happened. Is hyperbole. We can't talk about what happened at the scene. Nobody
Y'all
was at the
don't see
scene.
that the Democrats use fucking racism. They
Do
use
you
But
know
every
that?
fucking
Do you
thing
know that
to fucking
racism
get
is
the
a part
black
of
vote.
America?
hold on,
Do you know that racism is a part of America?
one quick second, because I want to keep
Racism,
it. I
Political
want
parties,
transgenderism,
both political
fucking.
parties
one.
use racism.
Hold on,
Both of
hold
them.
on, gentlemen.
It's
Hold
not
on,
only
gentlemen.
Democrats.
I want to
But the
make sure.
Democrats pander to that shit because
Okay,
they're
Hold on,
okay.
Thomas.
But
Thomas,
I
again,
want to make
right.
Thomas.
sure. I want to make sure that we stay focused on what we're talking about. So yes, we're speaking about. You brought up the point that Democrats are using racism, and then you brought up, an example, which was the George
George
Floyd,
Floyd.
and then you
Right.
got more specific about him saying that he couldn't breathe. I want
Uh-huh.
to make sure that we
So
analyze that specifically, and you give your
okay,
point on
so
that specifically.
back to
Very
that.
good.
So it was said that the foot wasn't, or the knee wasn't on his neck. It was saying
Mhm.
that the knee was, I don't remember the situation or whatever, but they said that the knee
Okay.
wasn't on his neck and he actually died from the drugs that he swallowed, and not, the knee on the neck.
Okay, so with that being said, if a person says they can't breathe no matter what's going on, does that excuse? Because if you put a knee on somebody's back while they're on their stomach and their chest is being compressed in, whether it's on their back or on their neck, your oxygen is going to be cut off no matter what happened before, no matter what you ingested before. What I'm I, what I'm asking you is, does that justify the reason why he died?
Yes, he died from drugs.
Wow.
Got you, got you, got you. So with that being said, so I want to ask you another question. Do you not believe that Republicans also use racism
Racism?
as a
Yes.
tech?
Yes. But they don't, it's not their go-to. Democrats use that shit all the time. It's their go-to.
Can
If
you
we
give me
have
an
to get the
example? Can you
black
give us
vote.
an example? Can you give us an example of how Democrats use racism? I don't know. I don't know when there's
Well,
any
the George
specific.
Floyd wasn't. I mean to cut you off, but that was an example. It's
But
hey,
George
this
Floyd
guy
doesn't happen
died,
all.
and
But George Floyd
everybody
doesn't
saw
happen.
this
But
situation,
George Floyd
and
doesn't happen all the time. Can you give an example
But it
of
does.
of
It does though.
something that Democrats actually talk about every election cycle that
well,
leads to your point of them always bringing up racism? Because in
I
essence,
can't give you an example right now. Like I said, I just got into politics. I'm currently reading a book right now, but I can't give you an example because I didn't give a fuck about politics 2 years ago. You
right?
get what I'm saying?
Would you say that it's unfair to say that then?
No,
Without knowing the history and the knowledge to say that
no,
Democrats
because
It
always use racism.
so
well,
it
go
does
back to
it does
Obama.
it, but
Go
it
back to
creates
Obama.
what
By putting
it
the
is.
first black president in the office. As
Oh,
soon as they
listen.
put a black person in the Democrat spot, every black person, oh, we have to go vote for this black guy. Is that not racism?
No.
So with that being said, I believe that there.
The definition of racism,
But they're
for
using a
Webster.
black guy.
Listen, the definition of, and this is why I get upset with white people saying shit is racist. Nothing is racist besides what white people do to black people in America, because the definition of racism is the structural and systematic oppression of a people. No one in this
That's
country
the out
is,
of the dictionary.
listen, out of the
Dictionary definition.
dictionary.
There's a number of different, but it
Listen,
all
no.
it
There's a
all
number of different ways
evolves
that
around
people.
there.
There's a number of different ways that people use the word, and they all use it incorrectly. I can't be racist to a white person. I can be prejudiced to a white person, but
And we had this
Racism only
conversation as well.
racism only applies from white people to black people. So I'm never jacking anybody saying that anything a black person does is racist, because it's not. And
What
understanding that word is very important, because we conflate it too often to other things, other words that we should be using.
one quick question. I'm gonna give you one quick question, Bobby, and then we'll go to
Sure.
another question from Tony. Tone, I don't give a fuck if you don't care about it. You gonna talk this episode.
Hey.
It's fire, right? This whole subject.
So we had this conversation before, and I brought up the kind of the advocate of it, and I stated that there could be a possibility of a black man or a black woman being racist if he owned a company and he specifically had a bunch of white employees, and this is just hypothetical, and he said, you know what, I'm firing all of these white employees just because they're white, and I'm going to hire some black employees. Because he own not because he owns, because he has the power to you know
I
to
get what you're
allocate
saying.
those, he
I get
has the
what you're
power to
saying.
allocate those resources,
Yes.
and it has power over their resources. There could be, that could be racist. That would be racist.
That's the definition of racism: having the power
The
to do
struggle,
something structurally
again,
and
the struggle,
institutionally.
So
again,
black people can't be racist.
the struggle over resources.
Everybody can be racist if they have
Indeed.
power.
Indeed. So I just wanted to
Power
ask.
constructs racism.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there is a
Okay.
possibility, and that's what we wanted to get
Sure.
to, of course. So Tony, before you go, Tone, you have to say something to us, boy. These clips is gonna look crazy without you talking, man. Talk to us, Tone. Talk to us, baby.
Listen, man. Both parties be using race, bro. It's not only Democrat, it's not only Republic. I be peeping shit. I've been peeping like how they use the Democratic Party to try to get the black votes, and then a Democrat gets in office, and someone that's about to empower black people gets fucking assassinated, while a Democratic president is running office. Then I see Donald Trump in the fucking Bronx of New York on the stage with the local rappers from that town just to get the votes. Like, they using race in any way, shape, or form, bro. Like, that shit don't matter. I don't think one side is more on the racial agenda at all. Like, both these motherfuckers is using race to gain votes, and at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about black people at all. So I'm sitting my ass right at home and watching the fucking news on who won. Point
So
blank
you don't
period.
think that one side could do more for black people than the other?
But
Yes.
before
Because
we
even
go,
if you don't choose Republicans, the Democrats
Here's
is the
what I will
party that
say.
we always
Here's what
went
I will
to.
say.
Tony,
Here's what I will say.
go
I've
ahead
been
real
a
quick.
teenager and a grown man while Republican and Democrat were in office. My life never changed.
Okay, with that being said,
My life never changed. So I'm
with
gonna
that
just
being
leave that
said,
as
great point, Bobby. Real quick, and then we're going to get to Tony with another question, so we can,
Okay.
keep on track, you guys.
Got you. I would like to throw out there, what do we consider significant change to touch us? Because we keep saying that my life hasn't changed, when there have been clear, you know what? Not clear. There have been substantial change and substantial progression, primarily from the Democratic Party. What do you consider change?
Okay,
Because
so
from
but
because from
no,
from
that's you posed the question, and I want to keep it at that. Now, I just want to clarify before we go around real quick before we get to Tony. Are you asking? And it sounds like you're asking, but I want to ask you
Yeah.
if you're asking more about progress or negative change.
No, progress. I want to know,
Okay,
because
okay, progress.
in relation to what Tone just said,
Exactly. Okay.
what do you consider change to be for you to consider it change? What has to change?
Got you. And we'll wrap back around for you to end it off, and then we're gonna get to Tony. 2 minutes, real quick, you guys, real quick, and then we'll go back around, and Tony is gonna be back on you. But we're gonna start with you, Tony. Do you have any examples of any positive change that has happened for our community or you specifically
No.
No,
My
that
fault,
was a
Thomas.
question to
My fault,
Tone.
Thomas. Can you reframe that question?
Go ahead.
What I'm looking for is what would you consider to be change for you? Like what
Okay.
would have to happen on the ground
Yeah,
in your neighborhood for you to say, "Yo, this party made a change for me."
Okay.
right.
Got you.
I
Got
need
you.
to
Go
go
ahead, Tony.
vote.
Go ahead, Tony. Talk to us.
No, not me, Tone.
No, we're gonna go around and then we're gonna go back to you to pose another
Well,
question.
I'm going to vote regardless. So I thought the question was kind of to Tone because Tone said, "Hey, I haven't seen shit. You know, I've been alive while
Mm.
Democrats and Republicans were president. I haven't seen shit, so I'm gonna sit my ass here and not vote." I feel like, well, what the fuck
Gotcha.
is has to change for you
I
to
know
vote?
I know he posed the for that to pop up, the question to pop up, but I just wanted to get our overall opinion
I think
of
everybody's answer.
has anyone seen any change personally, whether it's Democratic or Republican?
Well, right now the change that I'm seeing, I don't like, and that's the reason why I'm in fucking this. Why I'm in
And
Republicans
what
now.
changes that? What changes that so
I'm
we can keep up?
seeing uh transgenderism.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that shit at all. And
Gotcha,
that's
gotcha,
something that's pushed again by the Democrat side. I
gotcha. One more
Uh-oh.
and that's it, and we're
um
gonna go to Tone.
okay. No, go ahead.
All right, go
That's
ahead, Tone.
mainly it right there.
Gotcha. Talk to us.
For me,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know you said you haven't
you
seen
don't.
any, but can you think
oh,
of anything that
I
it doesn't?
I really can't think of shit. And you know me, I'm so pro black. So my angle is, so you guys are on my page, is what are the presidents doing to where black people could, elevate themselves or their communities. And I haven't seen anything near
Tone,
there. What
what
up,
would
bro?
you Tone, what would make you say, "Yo, this party made a change"? That's the question. What would have
What
to
will make you
If
happen
get
there
up
was
and
some
in
vote?
type of bills passed I don't got the right word, but I was about to say empower black people, but I really don't mean empower, but
Mhm.
to to build the economy for black people. So I haven't
Okay,
seen nothing no bills passed or anything that'll kind of bring us anywhere close to that. So
okay,
my
okay,
thing
okay.
is like, as far as black people, they're not doing anything to establish that. We're
Got
all
you,
on our own with that.
got you. And I'll expand on that with a quick example. Then we'll go to Bobby, and then Tony propose another question or opinion about what we're talking about. They haven't stopped. They haven't proposed any anti-crime law. No, they haven't stopped gentrification. And I'll go to Bobby.
I think to that point, gentrification is really unstoppable because it's a money problem, right? And if you try to stop gentrification, then you could run into discrimination problems. So when you start talking about that particular issue, you're running into other things that step outside of like
Got you.
politics. It
It's
goes
not.
it
It's,
goes
it's
into
not a
money.
response. Yeah, yeah. We go
No,
ahead
no, no,
with
no.
your.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to think that, but I
Okay.
mean, bro, like billions of dollars given back to people for student loan forgiveness, even
Okay.
after the Supreme Court shot it down. Obamacare gave tens of millions of people health care that never had health care.
Got you.
uh,
Got you.
I mean, there's
One more.
more people who are who were arrested for marijuana than ever, and that's from Obama and Biden. There's so many good
Got you.
things that
Got you.
happen. The Democrats are bad at messaging. They don't tell you their wins, and that's where the Democrats lose. They win a lot and they don't tell you.
Got you. Got you. Tony, talk to us, man. Hit us with something.
Well, shit. Is there a question in play, or am I asking a question?
You asking a question. You proposing something else. We want to, make sure we hit a couple different,
I want to go back to
points on
the
this.
Obama shit with Bobby. Bobby, you don't believe that Obama was placed in that seat to grab the black vote? Hold on before you go into it. When I
Okay.
was Obama turned or he was president when I turned 18. My first time being able to vote, it was when Obama became president. My
Nice.
dad, everybody in the community, hey, there's a black man in office. We need to go vote.
And you know what? Do you understand the significance of what that meant, regardless of how you felt about his politics? Do you understand what the
I
significance
understand what
was?
it meant. I understand what it meant, but I don't think that it made any fucking change at all. And I feel
No,
like Obama
because
wasn't
presidents.
One
fucking.
quick question. One quick question, because I want you to articulate into some type of, what did it mean to you, or what do you think it meant for our community, Tony?
For people to go and vote for Obama. What do you think it meant? Like the reasoning
No,
behind
yeah.
the blacks.
What do you think it meant? That's just
Do I think it? Well, we never had a fucking black president.
Right.
So again, that was us being, some type of power. It showed that, hey, racism is finally coming to an end, or something along the lines of that.
got you,
We got somebody
Right.
in power.
got you,
Again,
Right.
got
go.
you, got you,
But
got you. Go
again,
ahead, Bobby.
I feel like
Go
it was
ahead.
a puppet. Go
Got
ahead.
you, got you. Go ahead.
I believe that the only thing that controls elections are billionaires and billion-dollar corporations that have interests, right? So when they passed the law that there's no cap on political donations, that's what kind of ruined American politics, because now the people with the most money win. With that being
With that being said, I just want to
with
go
that being
back to
said,
what we said,
yep,
because you did say that our popular vote
yep,
is what matters. Now
yes.
you're saying it is the people that lobby for
It's
the
all in
popular vote,
it's all in conjunction, because
okay,
if I have $1 billion to spend in New York for the Democrats, and the Republicans only have $100 million, there's going to be a lot more leaflets of mine. There's going to be a lot more commercials of mine. There's going to be a lot more radio spots of mine. There's going to be a lot more
indeed.
flooding of messaging, which will influence the votes to win the popular vote, to win the electoral vote.
Okay, okay,
It's the universe thing. I'm telling you, it's all it is that we're not seeing because we don't know enough to follow.
Yeah, I just wanted you to expand on that. Go
Yes,
ahead,
yes, yes,
continue.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I do believe that Obama won because of the excitement of a black president. He's super smart. The guy is a Harvard law graduate. The guy was a decent lawyer. He's intelligent. He's charismatic. He's attractive. He's not dark
Give
like
you all
me.
those things.
He's
I give
not
you all
dark
those
like
things.
he's not dark like me and you. So that helped a lot. You know what I mean? There was so many different perfect factors, and he was compliant. He wasn't a person who's looking to do certain things that were radical. And there really won't be radical presidents, and he just so happened to work. They didn't see him as a threat. It was just it was a perfect storm of of regularity.
Easy to control.
It made America look good. You could say easy to control, but not easy to control and not having to worry are two different things. I don't think he was easy to control as much as he wasn't a threat. And he wasn't a threat. He was a likable person. He wasn't here to rock no boats, but he did shit. Nigga, healthcare is important. Healthcare is important, and niggas was out here with no healthcare, and they got that through. We have to look at that and actually give it credence.
How many wars did Obama start? Was he? How many wars?
He actually adopted a war.
It was only one war.
He adopted a war. I mean, I think he may have been involved with the Gaddafi thing, but what we don't know is when things start and when they finish, because things are brewing. Things are brewing that the public don't know. You know what I'm saying? We do know that the Iraq war was for 20 goddamn years. And a lot of presidents basically inherited that war that started from your boy Bush Jr. So from that, now every time there's a president, we blame that president for the war that was started 4 and 8 years ago. So, we throw these things around for the sake of argument, but we're never talking about the source. We're always just arguing about what's right in front of us.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
Indeed.
the problem.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Bobby. I like
Yes,
how informed you are.
Thank you.
How do you feel about open borders?
Well, first of all, immigration is a problem, right? But it's a
because we
nuance.
talked about it before, and boy, it was
Don't
crazy
laugh.
on those things. So that's where we're picking up on. I don't know if you seen the last episode. That boy, it was Tone and Tony was like, boy, you said, what about the immigrants? You know, this about the immigrants. Stop them immigrants. So that's the whole background of it. But
Like,
but
Oh,
this
but
nigga
okay.
Tony
but
want to
def
hear an
yeah.
informative answer about how he feels about walls and shit. I just started
but
laughing. It's just
but
like, I'm
talk
just here
but talk
quiet
to us.
though.
But talk to us, Bobby. Talk
Go
to
I'll
us.
keep
ahead.
it short. I'll keep it short. I think it's a nuanced conversation. I think that it is problematic that we haven't that the border isn't controlled, and I think it's a huge federal undertaking that America just doesn't want to take care of. Secondly, it's beneficial for America to have migrants to come over because we're awakening to the point where we realize that there are jobs that we don't want to do, and they do want, as much as they get on TV and act like they don't want them to come, they do want them to come. Republicans and Democrats, because they want to replace the black vote, and they want to replace the lower class people in the workforce, because we're not taking those $7.25 an hour jobs, and they know that people who come from impoverished countries will come over and do those jobs happily. So they
So
do want open borders. I don't agree with it because I know how much of a disruption it causes. I'm in New York City, bro. I'm driving up and down these streets of Brooklyn streets, and you see migrants on the corner, bro,
oh
standing
yeah,
outside of
straight up there,
outside
straight up there.
outside of hotels that are overfull, on lines trying to get food. We see it day in and day out. And your boy is fucked up. Your governor down in Texas, he's a piece of shit. And the shit that he's doing is racist because he's using his power to send these migrants to black led states. He's only
That's
sending them to the Democratic black led states.
He's sending them to
California.
Democratic states. Yeah, I know that. But he's doing it because this is a Republican state and he's a Republican and he's saying, hey, we don't want open borders. So that's what the fuck Texas has been fighting for. We're right there at the border. We don't want
Yeah,
open borders.
right.
So if y'all want people to fucking freely come up here, we'll take them all the way fucking to the
But but I
Democratic states.
but see, that's the bad messaging, right? Because no one wants the people to come in. We just want there to be some some fair practices in the way that we monitor the situation. Nobody wants
That's what I
illegal
want.
people to come. No one wants illegal
That's
people to
what I
come
want.
in. But
I
but
don't
the
want illegal people.
but
I
the
prefer them come in
Republicans
legally.
but the Republicans' messaging twists the story. This is what I want you to understand. It's the messaging that Republicans do to say the Democrats want open borders. See, because you are saying it. You believe it. That is fucking false.
Hold
There are
on,
no
hold on, hold on, hold on,
Democrats
hold on,
that
hold on, hold on, hold on. What do I believe?
you asking me about open borders, and you tell me the
I asked you how
Democrat
do you feel
they
about
sending
open
them to
borders.
Democratic states. You just said that that your boy in the wheelchair is sending them to Democratic states because Democrats want open borders. Correct? That's what you said.
No, he's saying that we Republicans don't want open borders.
And he's
I'm
sending
not
them
saying that the Democrats do, but the Democrats have stated that hey, and the reason that they're sending them up there is because they said bring them up here. They said it themselves.
So you did
Listen,
answer his question, but so you answered the question, Tony, but just not the way that Bobby wanted you to answer the question. Um,
What the fuck
with
was the
that being
question?
said,
What
you
the
know,
fuck?
it was
What the fuck was the question?
ask it one more time,
Go
and
ahead,
then we're
Bobby.
going to move to the next
yeah,
topic of it.
it was just one of those. It was just because you posed a question about the
Right,
immigrants
I
to
asked a
me.
question
Yeah,
about how you feel about immigration
yeah. So I mean, if we
or open
if we
borders.
yeah, if we want to leave it there, like I don't agree with open borders because I see the damage that it causes and the division that it causes because you have the people who are tolerant, which have been the liberal democratic people, and you have the people who have zero tolerance, which are the Republicans, and it's giving not Christ-like. You know what I mean? Like as conservative Christian as the Republican Party wants to be, the the hard edge stance that they're taking is very contradictory, and I think that's what's very confusing about the issue. Yes, the issue is a problem, but the harshness, the lack of empathy, the and you know what it is too, and you know what it is.
I'm
It,
with it
it's also
100%.
it's also because Republican states are poor states. So a part of me gets it because there's not enough money flowing in Republican states. typically Republican states have to borrow money from Democratic states because they don't make enough their GDP per capita. They don't make enough money per year, so they borrow from Democratic states. So I can see where complaining about migrants can come into play because they're already in a impoverished state. But the messaging is just bad when there's no humanity involved. This is America, the land of immigrants, and then you turn around and
And with that
No, I
being
get that. Hold
said,
on, Thomas. Hold
no,
on.
no, no,
Let me.
no, 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 no. One quick, before you
What,
before
you
you
got a
go
question?
anywhere. No, before you go
Go ahead.
anywhere, that is what the last conversation was more about. It was about the humanity. So I want to talk to Tone. I want to
Tone.
talk to Tone.
He's trying to
How
get
are
away.
you feeling with this conversation now? Between Tony and Bobby about the immigrants. I want to hear from you, man.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I wanted to get some popcorn. I don't got nothing here. I do got some milk and cookies here, so I was thinking about snacking on that, listening to this.
He got
Like
the
where
snack
where
on it.
where I personally stand, I think both parties don't give a shit about black people. I believe that both parties give a shit more about immigrants, not necessarily black immigrants neither, more than black Americans. So like, I don't, and I'm not really polished when it comes to any politics at all. I can just go off what I see and hear. And half that shit is propaganda anyway. So it's just like, what the fuck do I believe? You know what I'm saying? But I just kind of right now I'm taking it all in as like bullshit. Like someone whoever's gonna be in that office is gonna be a fucking puppet. It doesn't matter who's in there. There's gonna be an agenda for whoever's in there, or whatever the case may be. So, like I said, I was just sitting here, just keep my mouth shut, see if I can learn or pick up anything off of it. But I still feel like we're fucked regardless, honestly.
Talk to us, Tony.
Yo, so Bobby, I just wanted to let you know that we are not in disagreement. I agree with you 100% that immigrants should come in. We should have immigrants, but again, the way that they come in
Yeah,
is the
it's
way that I
problematic.
disagree with. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
gonna
it's
come in,
problematic.
one more time.
No, I say yeah. No, I agree. It's problematic.
Yeah, it's definitely problematic, and that's why I say, fuck them immigrants, kick them all the fuck out,
Yeah,
and let
yeah.
them come. Well, the illegal ones, not the legal ones,
Mm.
the illegal ones, because if you come into this country illegally, that means you already committed a crime, right?
It's interesting. I think and I know we got to move to the next point. I just think
Hmm.
it's interesting. There's a part of me that really do kind of root for them getting in illegal because it's like, what the fuck are we doing that we're letting them in? Like we have border patrol, we
Open
got
borders,
well, but we have systems in place too, though. Like it's not wide open where people ain't seeing them. They seeing them. They standing there watching them. There's people with holes in gates and they letting them. They not. They have
And not
the.
just that, we have our own, not, and I'll say our own, just America. We
Mm-hmm,
have our own militias that are
mm-hmm.
out there
That
that
too.
that are not part of the
The
government, but
government
they
or
are part of the government.
yeah,
So
yeah.
go ahead, continue though, and then let's move on.
No, you're right. And also let's not get it twisted. America makes a lot of money from illegal drug sales, and a lot of that shit that's going on is is perpetuated as the migrants. They letting these drugs come over too, man. We got to stop pretending
but that's what
like
I'm saying. If you
trafficking is
close
not
the
a thing. The
borders,
the, the human trafficking and the drug trafficking is some shit that the government is involved in, and
I
they
agree.
are
I
in
agree.
conjunction with Mexico, and a lot of hush hush, let shit slide, and let's call it just random migrants crossing over.
Right, right,
We
Let
got to
right.
stop pretending.
let me
No, I agree with
respond.
you. I
Let
agree
me
with you.
respond, and then let's pose one more point, and then let's go ahead and wrap it up, gentlemen. Um, I'm always, yes, I do see that it could be problematic, specifically for my community. I'm always, and to the day I die, will always be for my community, and that's always first. I don't give a fuck about anybody else's community. It's always about my community first. So yes, I can see how it could be problematic. One of the points, because one of the points that you did point out, them disfranchising our vote when it comes to this thing we call America. Um, but again, I also have it on the other end. I have it, white people and just along with everyone else are illegal immigrants to this land. So at the end of the day, how does it make it right for this illegal system, this corrupt system that we live in, that it's okay to use this corrupt system to say, you know, yes, we're
You
supposed
can't
to be
come.
this unity, but we don't want other people to come in and add to this unity, although they have been doing it since the day of time and will continue to do it. Then that's on the other end, on my other shoulder as well. So I definitely see the problematic, issues with that. And yes, as you stated before, Tony, there should be some way that we should track them and be able to, see what everyone is doing. But with that being said, they know where everyone is. They know what everyone is doing. And at the end of the day, if they want to track anybody, I feel like that's just so little and minute. Like, find the kids, find our children, find them first. Fuck the migrants that's coming in doing these low paying jobs. Y'all want them. Both sides want them. Find the children. Let's not focus on this shit. Let's focus on shit that's actually gonna build our community. So I see both ends of it, and but I wanted to wrap that up because it was based on from last episode, and now we're bringing into this episode. But
Right.
but one last topic, one last point, or something that you want to bring up to us, Tony. Man, talk to us, talk to us, talk to us.
Uh, I ain't really had shit else to bring up. I go back off of what you just said though, right there.
Hell
Is
no, we ain't going back on what we
um
just said. We already had a conversation about that.
me and
I got a
Bobby
question.
agreed that the shit was problematic,
Yeah.
and it doesn't seem like that you believe it's problematic.
I already said I believe it was problematic. I gave an example of a defranchising our vote, so that's false.
Okay,
But
okay,
since
okay.
so I want to pose one question only because you wearing that shirt, and like I said, I don't care about either party. Haven't cared
Yeah.
about either party because I've said in many other episodes that the change isn't going to come from up top, from getting into the system at the most high. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen on a local level, and it's going to build its way up.
Yes.
And so with
I
that
feel
being
like I
said,
disagree with that, man.
I
I
mean,
feel like I agree with you almost
okay.
90%, but I do feel like that if somebody
So
from
that's
the
that's a
outside came
passing.
in,
That's
if
passing. I
somebody from
passed.
the
You
outside
passed.
came in
You
and was
passed.
able to make
90%.
some
You passed,
change,
baby.
then they
You
make some
passed.
90%.
change
You
from the
passed,
top
baby.
up down.
Yeah, but it hasn't shown that happened. So I mean, you can say yeah. I do believe it is a possibility. There is a possibility that it could happen. When in the near future, no,
But shit, that goes the
highly,
same way you can start from the bottom up. When is that gonna happen?
it's happening right now. But with that being said,
Okay.
it is. It's happening in my community specifically, and I can name a person that's actually started in the all black organization and is actually in politics right now, passing and well trying to pass laws specifically for our people.
Well, there's
So
plenty of black people in all communities doing that, and they
is that
and
so?
there
That's an
has
so
been,
that's
and
that's
there
that's
has
it.
been.
So that's an example.
So
So
where's the change though?
it
Because if
it's
there
The
has
change
again
been,
is
where the
again
fuck is the
it's
change
incremental. It's
that you
slowly
guys keep
it's
talking
incremental.
about?
again you asked you said that it well I'm not sure exactly what you said, but I gave you an example of it happening, and then you said also that it's happening around the world. Now when you take the path of all, you feel me, lower path, you're going to get a lot of resistance. It's going to take time. It doesn't happen as fast as the picture would show it happens
Hmm.
up at top. So it
Yeah.
takes time. So you also have to invest yourself into that to
Boy, y'all
actually
can
see
talk.
it, into it actually happening. I mean, it's facts. You just agreed
Y'all
to it.
can talk.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
you just agreed to it. So you said it happens, it's happening.
Uh-huh.
So it is happening. So when it happens, it's going to happen on a larger scale. My question, before so we can wrap up.
Uh-huh.
When was America great?
America was great. Well, actually, let me start up. Let me start here. America was never a perfect place. So we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah,
But I
but
think
the
that if you
question
take,
is when it
I
was
think if you
great.
take all the
Great is the
positives out,
question.
you said what?
When it was
Great,
great.
because I
All
agree
right,
with
y'all
what you
looking for
just
a
said.
specific year. Y'all looking for because
It
y'all
doesn't
saying
have to
make
be a
America.
specific year. It can be a time
America
frame.
was never just great, and that's what y'all looking for. Y'all looking for a specific year or a time frame.
You
America
answered
was
it
never
right. That shit
perfect. It
was
was never
never
just
great.
great.
Shit was never great.
But I believe that Trump's message is, hey, there was times where America didn't have open borders. There was times where America, like just the things that were good in America, where America was looked at as the best country in the fucking world. You want to go back to, you want to pull those times and continue to increase or do better for America.
So
So
when
there was never a time
when
where America was just great,
so
but
when was
America
those
can be great.
times tying to Trump and his that slogan?
Right, that make America great again.
When because you speak so broadly, I want you to focus in because he focuses in
Hold
specifically
on. So
about
let's
what they're
let's.
talking about.
I'm not a fucking politic. So let's stop right there. I'm not a fucking politic.
I know,
So
I know you're
don't do
not.
me
But
like that.
if I know, but if you're
Like
spewing
that.
this, if you're spewing this rhetoric and you're aligning
What
yourself with this
rhetoric?
rhetoric of make America great again,
Never said that.
but you're wearing a shirt, you don't have to say it
I took
specifically.
a person. I took the best of what I believe is best. Just like Bobby took somebody that he believed is best. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter about what they're saying. Everybody's going to say something that's imperfect or something that doesn't make sense to somebody. You get what I'm saying? So I
Yes, he can
believe
say
that this
something
person is just
imperfect.
best for America. My opinion. I didn't say America was great before. I never said it.
I know, but that's the question I'm posing, that the person that you represent and believe in is also running, like this is something he's leading
So
with.
that's his belief, right? He believes that America was great before. That's fine for me. That's his belief, though. That's not my belief. I just think that he's better for America.
Got you,
Does
got
that
you.
make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Anybody else believe there was an era when America was great?
You can't, because racism has been fucking throughout America all the whole time. I feel like if you ask that question and then somebody says 1972 or 1952, you're gonna say, oh, back when this happened, back when that happened, back when this was happening. It was never great because it's an imperfect place,
Yeah,
but
I
they're
think
striving toward making it great.
right when that question can only be answered by people's personal experiences, or a cultures, or a specific race of people and
Right.
their group's experience. So I'm sure
Well,
white people have.
we're all, I know it is broad, but it is something that is being put out into the world,
Hmm.
and there are actions that have been, implemented from the specific party, and
Yeah,
things that they are catering to and saying this is when and this is how
yeah,
America is great. So if you're incorporating that and you're voting for that, it has to be something that has to give when that, like, you don't have any play in that.
It's not about, again, if you go back if you go back 20, 30 years, America was never great. It might have been great to certain people or certain cultures. So again, Trump is a whole white man, so he probably thought America was great back in fucking 1930s, but that's different for us. You get what
right.
I'm
As
saying?
far as all of us on this video, we can't. I don't think that we can identify with that statement at all. I don't think that any of
Right.
us can agree on that statement being even a statement to even have, because it's going to be like never. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
answer is just automatically
Ag-
never from the black person's experience.
exactly. So is it okay to to vote for someone that is representing something that we can't even answer ourselves? Why are we?
But this is where I go back to what I said before, and the point that the Republicans don't look for the black vote, because they don't need the black vote to win. They just need to win the battleground states with the largest electoral votes. So they can say make America great again and all the white people agree, and the states with the biggest electoral votes, if they get all the white people to vote, then they win the state, they get the electoral vote, and they are closer and closer to that mark to having their president. So yeah, make America great makes total sense for them to say, because they're only speaking to their base. They're not talking to Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. They're not talking to the Asian community, and they're not talking to the African
So with that
diaspora
being said, as
community.
we all agree to that, is there anything problematic with voting for somebody who represents something that doesn't represent us?
Absolutely. And I think that where black men, when it comes to Trump is concerned, there's a cognitive dissonance that's happening where we we become one issue voters, where there may be something in specific that they talk about saying that they'll do or that they don't agree with or whatever, that resonates with those particular black men, and they're tired of the system because it hasn't served them or they don't understand it, and then they just kind of go with that hot take. So you understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's not a deep understanding where you have, like, me, I need a list of the things that you've done good and bad, and a list of what this guy's done good and bad, so I can weigh them out and say, what is your future plan for these people, the country, the environment, for women, for da 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 da.
Now I
And
feel
it
like you're
make
being hypocritical at that point. At the beginning of this pod, you said that it doesn't matter who's on the ticket for the Democrat side, you're voting Democrat.
yes.
So you're not comparing two people, you're
Mhm.
comparing fucking system to a person.
Mhm. I'm talking up because my decision is based off policy, and the policy won't change with the presidential, with the presidents, with the actual people and the vice presidents. The policies of the party have aligned with the things that I believe in, right?
Yeah,
So
some people some
I
people
believe in figuring out healthcare. I believe in women's rights. And the Republican Party does not. They do not care about women making choices for themselves. They do not, and even with the Planned Parenthood thing, we talk about abortions. Planned Parenthood is sex education. Planned Parenthood is so many different services that they about to just wipe the whole shit clean because they don't want abortion. And there's like 30 other services that they provide for women that nobody else provides for women. Like,
Trump didn't say he wasn't against abortion though.
well,
Actually during his speech.
listen what I'm saying. We're not talking about Trump. We're talking about the
Okay,
Republican
okay,
Party.
that's fair. That's
We're
fair.
talking about the
That's fair.
Republican Party and the agenda. Because Trump don't give a shit about nothing. He wants to
He's
be
really the fuck
famous.
right.
He wants, forget, we're not even gonna use puppet. He wants to be famous. He's doing this for fun. So,
But Trump is already famous.
behind the fun is dangerous policies that the Republican Party have been building for a very long time. Republican Party moves like the Chinese Party, and they plan 100 years ahead, 150 years ahead. That's why. Listen,
The Democrats don't.
Guys. No,
no, they don't. They don't plan ahead the way Republicans do. They're very slow about it. Republicans are very tactical. And look at Project 2025, bro. And then I'll
now
leave
we
it
can.
there.
No,
No, I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
it's a conjecture
But
to say what's going on
I
behind the
do want
scenes
to
as far
say
as their
that
planning, but as
Lyndon
far as the
B.
actions.
Johnson, that was his name. He was
Yeah.
a Democrat, and
Yes.
he did plan 200 years ahead.
He just said what he said, but what he said was false, because essentially his plan was a white supremacy plan. It wasn't a political plan. It wasn't a plan for the party. It was a white supremacist plan for white people to keep power. So let's not confuse the two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
we
I mean,
we,
yeah,
we
it's
good, yeah.
yeah.
We
Tone,
good.
Tone. Before we wrap up and we give our spill to everybody, is a little bit of a gem to everybody. Talk to us about do you see anything wrong? Well, first, just talk to us about your background change, man. It's obvious, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up, man.
Just wanted to represent, what I'm representing in the election. Tony, I sent you this. I
Uh-huh.
know you've seen it in the text, but right behind me it
Gotta get
says
in the
"fuck
bed.
them
Go in
both."
the bed. I'm gonna talk to you
24.
later. Go.
Do them regardless. So, like, I truly believe as a man,
No.
It's all up to you to create the life that you want, not your president, or anything like that. So it's all on you. I don't think that a president can really make that path much easier for you. Yeah, they do have power to where they could kind of literally affect your life. But
Yeah,
I
COVID.
just feel like to me at this point it's all like a certain reality show that gets put on TV every 4 years, and it's just all bullshit. Like they got their own agenda that they need to accomplish, and they're not really here for the people. So
Got you.
2024.
Tony, before we go, I do want you to, say whatever you want to say to the topic, and then let's go ahead wrap it up, baby. Let's wrap it.
I
Ooh.
actually got another question. I know you want to wrap up, but I got
No,
another
no,
question.
no,
I got
no
to. I
question,
got you.
no
Yo, Bobby.
questions. No,
Yo.
we
Bobby.
1 minute, 1 minute. 1 minute, and we're timing it,
COVID.
man.
You don't believe COVID was something pushed by the Democrats to steal the election?
Wow. That was, I think COVID was a infectious virus. There, inside of the jungles of South America, there are actually millions of viruses but they're deep in the jungle and they don't have exposure to humans, so we don't have exposure to it.
It's South
COVID was
Africa.
South Africa, any jungle and around the world, there are millions and millions of diseases that can wipe out people.
Pathogens and all type of shit. Yeah.
Most
So
people are saying
we
that
have
this
to
shit came from
so
China, though.
yeah, I mean, you're right. So probably China, right? But when it comes to COVID,
US.
what I will say is when Trump got into office, right before COVID happened, he demolished the disease department inside of the government, which was the thing that Obama put in there to protect us from infectious disease. So I don't think a disease had anything to do with politics. I think an infectious disease influenced politics, but I don't think it had anything to do with
Okay.
specifically doing. You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah, I get
affected
you. I
it.
get you.
It
That's fair.
affected it, but no, I'm not.
I just wanted to see where you
Got you,
was
got you.
on it because I got a different opinion, but we ain't got to get into that.
Yeah, that was 1 minute on the
Yeah,
mark.
we did
Yes, sir. I was timing. I was like,
it. You
hey,
watching the time and
I swear to God, I was. Gentlemen. As always, before we wrap up, let's leave them with something. And it looks like someone is calling Mr.
Yeah.
Bobby to go to
Yeah.
bed. So is there
Yeah.
before we go, we always want to leave them with something. The people in the world, whether we're speaking to our community or just the world overall. We'll start with our special guest. Bobby, leave us with something for the people, man.
Thank you, man. Once again, thank you for having me on the show. And this is a saying that I like to say. I've learned it a couple of years ago, and every chance I get, I tell it to somebody. Sometimes it is better to understand. It's more important to understand than it is to be understood. Sometimes we fight to get our point across, and sometimes you come across the wrong person that you doing that to, and some people will one up you to your demise, whether it be physical, whether it be financial, whether it be what I'm saying, mental, emotional. Sometimes you just got to tell a person like, yo, yeah, you got it, bro, you got it. Like, you don't have to fight it, you don't have to fight every battle. So sometimes it's better to understand than it is to be understood.
Indeed,
That's a fact.
indeed. Right after that, go. I want to go to Tony because he ended off with a lot of things that. Well, one thing that you always like to say, you got it. So talk to us,
You
Tony.
got it. uh, only thing I want to say is get out there and vote when voting time comes, because I feel like your vote does fucking matter, and I feel like there is a war between good and bad, just like everywhere else. And no matter who your choice is, who you choose, make a choice, do something for your people.
Got you. Tony, talk to us, baby. Talk to us.
Only got one quote for y'all tonight. And one said nothing.
Say it one more time.
A wise man once said nothing.
Got you. Straight up. I'm gonna leave the people with um. Find you some people that you can have these conversations with. Um, just like Bobby said, listen. You know, what I would like to imagine that he said, you know, listen more than you know, listen more than you speak, and try to find some people that, like I said, that you can speak to freely like this, um, and have fun and learn, man, and learn, and that's all I
Yeah,
gotta say, man.
absolutely,
Pick up a
absolutely.
book and read.
Read, baby,
Hey,
read.
a People's History of the United States is a very good book to listen to. A People's History of the United States takes you through it all from 1400s, 1300s, and it breaks it down very well.
I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna put it right up here. You guys, that has been another episode of Guys in Conversation, y'all. And hey, I'm Thomas. We got the one and only Tony. We got Tone the motherfucking Tantrum right there. And we got our special guest, the one and only Mr. Bobby, in the motherfucking building. Signing out, y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all for everything. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We ain't said it the whole episode. Make sure you go right here. Like, subscribe. Hey, it's been an episode, like I said, y'all. Guys in Conversation.